Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Christy. If you are new here, I share homeschooling resources, tips and tricks, curriculum hauls, and all sorts of goodies. So before we get started, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a minute of it. And also, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button as well. It makes the YouTube algorithm happy. Me too. Why did I choose to homeschool? Long time ago, in a land far away, well, it was only about 12 years ago, I had to look into what kind of education we would provide for my son. He was only 3 years old, but we were looking at preschools. And my whole life, I had gone to a private Christian school. I assumed that's where my children would go as well. However, since I had graduated, I had moved about an hour away. So that's a little too far to commute to preschool. I didn't love my options that were local. I was talking to my mom about it on the phone one night and she asked,
Well, why don't you homeschool?
Because I don't wear a denim jumper. Like, I didn't know anybody who homeschooled. I thought that was just, the little house on the prairie kind of things. I looked into it and I said, okay, this is shapes, colors, preschool. I can do that. I can handle that. We got started and we had a lot of fun. I got to spend so much time with my son and we were learning hands-on curriculum, outside playtime. It was a really, really great time. Keep in mind, I also had a baby on my hip and another one on the way. So I was a busy mama, but it was fun and it was less stressful than getting up early, getting him ready and having to drive to a preschool, pick him up, do the carpool and all of that. How did we get here? Well, it was just one year after another. The next year we were working on our alphabet and letters, and the next year it was sight words, and the next year it was multiplication, and the next year it was algebra. I mean, maybe not quite in that order, maybe not quite that fast, but you get what I mean. So what did I discover on our homeschooling journey? Well, one of the best reasons I discovered to homeschool was that I got to meet my children where they were in their education. So if they were advanced in math, then we got to speed that subject up. If they were struggling a little bit more in spelling, then we got to hang back and work on that a little bit longer. We could move forward on one subject and do some extra work on the other. That's something that the classroom just can't allow on an individual basis. So that was really great, where there was no busy work for my kids because there was no need to fill in any time. We can just move on, or if we need to, we can stay there and review. I think that was the number one reason that kept me homeschooling. I didn't realize that at first, but it was definitely the reason that kept me going. Our days are shorter. We can get done with homeschooling in 2 to 3 hours. Now, once they reached middle school, it was more like 3 or 4 hours, but still nothing like it is where they're waking up before daylight, heading to school on the bus, and then coming home at 3 or 4 o'clock and then having homework. So we were done way before that. And I just really enjoyed having that extra time with my kids, especially at that early age, during those elementary years, during that early development. I really cherished that time with them and getting to spend the most time with them and seeing them and enjoying them and watching those light bulb moments when you see someone learn something for the first time. It's just really cool. And I got to experience years and years and years of that with my children. So I am super, super grateful for that time. Did it work? We're not done. They haven't graduated yet. I have 2 of them who have moved into private school, the same one that I went to. We have since moved closer. We are only 10 minutes away now. Last year, I was in the classroom teaching there. They really enjoyed their experience in a classroom setting, and they want to finish out their high school years there at school. I'm excited for them to experience that journey and kind of the same one I had, so that's pretty cool. That's exciting. Now, my little one, my youngest one, she's still gonna stay at home with mama, and I'm really, really happy about that. Now I get to spend that time one-on-one with her, and she gets a little bit of individual time that she doesn't always get when everybody's here. And not that she was neglected, but just now she has a 1-to-1 instead of a 1-to-3 teacher-student ratio. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, back to, did it work? Did it work? Did they learn anything? Were we successful? Yes, you feel like, yes, I see them learning and I know that they're doing good things and I see the work and I see it every day. I see it in their schoolwork. I see it when they're learning. I see it in our conversations. We even did standardized testing a couple of times. They were right on track or way above, just as I expected. So I was feeling confident because as a mama, you can wonder, am I doing the right thing? Keeping up with the rest of the schools. And we try really hard not to do that, not to try to keep up. That's not the point of homeschooling. But in the back of your mind, especially if you have had that background in private or public school, you kind of know what that looks like, and this is new. Having a guide, having a grade, having something to gauge is kind of reaffirming. So when my older two did go to school, I knew exactly the academic rigor that they would be exposed to and what they had gone through. So when the end of the year came and we had honor roll report cards and beta students, that really just gave me an extra pat on the back, knowing that, and them too, of course, they did all of the hard work, but knowing that that foundation was there. I knew it was there, but just someone else saying, yep, it's there. They got it. They're excelling. They're great students. Then that just makes everybody feel really good and consider my last 12 years a success. What if they were not A students, honor roll, beta, inductees? Does that mean failure? Of course not. We do not measure our homeschooling success based on a report card. Of course not. My youngest, that was not the case for her. That is not the definition of success for her. And that may not be the definition of success for you or your students either. Every student has individual needs and goals as well. So my oldest two, they are college bound. They knew that from a very early age, and this is just one more step that we are taking to reach that goal for them. One thing that you don't see here that was a very important piece to the puzzle is my husband, who was supportive and encouraging from the get-go. So when we had those hard days, he was there to support, encourage, and give those much needed breaks to mama when those became necessary. And last but not least, it was cheaper. Now, homeschooling can range in price from free to thousands of dollars, just like any school can. So your cost would depend mostly on your curriculum choices. I have had years that we homeschooled for almost free. I've never done it the entire year completely free, but I have had low cost and some free subjects that we use different resources for. The most expensive option that we chose for homeschooling was when we went with BJU distance learning online. When we went through it for 3 students, I think it was about $3,000 for all 3 students. Now that's for the whole year. So that's still way less than private school tuition. I think all 3 of them could still homeschool with that program for probably less than half of 1 year of private school tuition for 1 student. So there you have it. That is why I started homeschooling, and that's why we are still at it 12 years later. It looks a little bit different, but that's okay. Life looks a little bit different, and that's okay too. We just adjust as needed, right? Now I want to hear from you. What is your why? Why do you want to homeschool? Why are you homeschooling? What is working? What is not working? Leave me that information in the comments. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and I hope y'all have a great week. See y'all later. Bye-bye.